Yo, what's good, family? Happy Friday, man. We made it through another week of distance learning, and I am super proud of all of your efforts. I especially want to thank those of us that consistently redo the lesson to get all the points, because the more you do it, the better you're going to become at it, the more it sits into your brain. And when you become a seventh grader, next school season, in a few more months, you're going to be well equipped to understand what you're going to be doing. So thank you for that, man. Happy Friday again. And we're going to go ahead and jump right into this thing, man. So let's look at number one, right? And I hope you guys remember like what we talked about with percents, right? So a shop owner offered a 20% discount off the regular price of a mirror. The amount of the discount is $3. What is the regular price of the mirror? And so you might be like, I don't know. It doesn't even, but when we think about what is 10%, right? If we know that it was $3, right? The total amount, we can just look at each number, each digit, right? Like we see 15, we see 6, we see 9, and we see 18. If we were to take 10% of the number, right? For 15, we would get 1 and 5 tenths. For 6, we would get 0.6. For 9, we would get 0.9. And for 18, we would get 1 and 8 tenths. That is all 10% of a number. So if we doubled it, right? If we doubled the 10% becomes 20%, then 1.5 now becomes 3. Right? Because 1.5 plus 1.5 is 3. So we don't have to do any math. We just have to know that 10% of a number is that, and we just looked at all the numbers and which one made the most sense for it to be 10%, which is 1.5. So that's it. Letter A. Easy peasy, so cheesy. All right, man, listen. So we're going to have to do a little bit of math on this one, number 2. But it asked us to find the volume. And just like we did in yesterday's, right? I think I put a volume question on there, right? We're just going to take the numbers and multiply them. It's not like the surface area where you have to do that plus 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 that. We don't have to do that. All we have to do is 4 times 2.5 times 7. So we know that 4 times 7 is 28, right? Times 2.5. Right? So if we took 28 and doubled it, we would get what? I'm just off the top of my head, 16, carry the 1. Oh crap, I gotta write it down. Come on, y'all, help me out. So we got right here, we got 4 times 7. That's gonna be 28 times 2.5, right? That's how I would do it. Times 2.5. We got 8 times 5 is 40, right? 5 times 2 is 10 plus 4 is 14. 2 times 8 is 16. 2 times 1 is 2 plus 1 is 5, right? But you know what? Look. We know it's going to have a decimal point and a 0. So we don't even have to do any more math because we know it doesn't end in a 5. We know it doesn't end in a 5, and we know it doesn't end in a 6. We just go ahead and do that right here. Look, and we get 0, 1, 7. So that's 70, which is H, right? Remember, process of elimination, and just, working it out, right? Like, we don't even have to do that much math. So we know that that one is H, okay? All right, so right here it says the area of the rectangle shown is 375 square centimeters. What is H? So remember when we had to do like the opposite, right? We had to do like the opposite. When we have the area, we have to divide by one of the side lengths, right? So we're going to divide 25 into 375. 25 fits into 375, certainly not 350 times. Not anything dealing with a half, because 25 fits into 75 at least 3 times, right? So we know it's not going to end in a 0.5 or a 0.5. The one that makes the most reasonable sense by deductive reasoning is h. So if you want, you could take 15 and times it by 25 and see what you get. I'm not going to do that math, okay? So I think the answer is h, but you have to work it out to see if it's h yourself, okay? All right, number 4. Oh my goodness. I hope you guys that are listening to this video and watching it, I hope you guys hear my voice, because I must have said it a gazillion times when we were talking about division of fractions, right? Because I would always say this question reads as, how many 3/4 are in 1/3? So whatever is on the right side of the division symbol is asking how many of that can fit into whatever is on the left side. So if we look at that, Dan fills 1/3 of the mold that holds 3/4 pounds of sand. How much sand did Dan use to fill the mold? Nope, that's not it. I don't even know what that means. Dan fills 3/4 of the mold that holds 1/3 pound of sand. How much sand did Dan use to fill the mold? What? How many 3/4 pound molds are in 1/3 pounds of sand? That's exactly what I've been saying. That's exactly what I've been teaching you guys. How many 3/4 are in 1/3? So that answer is C. Okay? Easy peasy. That was too cheesy. My favorite, you guys. Look at that question, huh? Number 5. Which ordered pair best describes the point plotted in quadrant 2 on the coordinate plane? So remember, you read left to right first. X is always first because X comes before Y when you say the alphabet. And then you go up to Y. But we have to know which quadrant is quadrant 2. We talked a lot about that in the beginning of our distance learning, and even as we ended school. So this is quadrant 1, right here where you see my cursor. This is quadrant 2, quadrant 3, quadrant 4. So as we read from left to right, on the x-axis, we're going to go over to -4 and then up to 6. So that answer is A, -4, 6. Easy, easy, easy. Number 6. Man, you guys should, I don't even know how to tell you what to do with this because you should know. You're going to do parentheses first, 4K, right? Okay, I'll write it down because I heard somebody say, write it down. All right, so we have 7K plus 4, oopsies, times K plus 4. So we know we have to take whatever's on the outside and times it by whatever's on the inside. Remember that? You guys better remember that. 4K plus 16 plus 7K. Now, like terms, remember that? Like terms, 7K plus 4K gives us 11K plus 16. All right, so this is our final answer, but this is also the correct answer. So when we look at that, it says select all the equivalent expressions for Tina's total sales at the fair, right? So select all the expressions. So we see that we have right here 7K plus 4K plus 16. That is letter E. And then we have 11K plus 16, and that is letter C. So you should check box C and E. That's number 6. Oh man, you guys remember these? Woo-wee. How awesome is this? You know what? I don't even think I'm going to tell you the answer for this. I'm just going to let you do it yourself. What do you remember from this, right? Remember, I'm not going to leave you hanging. I love you guys, right? So remember, we're going to do, we could do 10 times 12, right? That's going to give us the entire dimension. 10 plus 12. I mean, 10 times 12 is 120. But it's asking for the dimensions in feet squared of the kitchen floor are shown, right? So this whole thing right here is the kitchen floor. So that means we have to exclude this portion right here, right? We have to exclude this blank space. So what we could do, right? What we could do is imagine that what is this square length right here, right? What is that top part? So this gives us, what does this give us right here? Right? So what do we have to do? Right? There's a couple things that you could do. You could simply chop this down, right? And that'll be 30, and that'll be 30, and that gives you 60, right? And then you have to think about, like, well, what is this other part in the middle? Because if we did a rectangle here and a rectangle here, we still have to do this, basically this square part right here, right? And so we know if we chop it down the middle, this is going to be 6. And then if we chopped it down the middle here, right? And so this box will be 6. And then it's telling us that the height of that square would be 4. So we have 6 times 4, which is 24. So if we take 120, right? I'm going to write it down because we know the whole box is 120, and we subtract that blank spot from it, which is 24, right? We got to cancel that out. That's going to become that, and that's going to become 6, and then this becomes 11. 11 take away 2 is 9, and so therefore that is 96 feet squared. 96 feet squared. You guys knew that. That was super easy. And that is letter focus, letter C. All right. All right, man, listen. I'm not going to do the math on this. I'm going to just remind you guys of what you have to do, because you have to do the math, right? It says, basically the question says, what is the mean of the data set? Remember we talked about that a few weeks ago? We drilled on that. Mean is the average. So we have to add all of these numbers up and then divide it by 10. Add all these numbers up, divided by 10. And that's going to tell you what the mean average is. And so if you look at these answers, well, I don't know. Who knows what it could be, right? So one of these answers, you add them all up and then divide by 10, and you're going to find the correct answer, okay? All right, so, okay, here we go. Let's talk about this one, and we're almost done. Number 9. It says Chicago, Illinois has an elevation of 600 feet above sea level. Above sea level. Above sea level. So we know sea level will be considered 0, right? And so it's 600 feet above that. The elevation of Desert Shores, California is 800 feet less. Remember those terms that we talked about? Less than the elevation of Chicago. So that means we are going to subtract, right? And so we're going to start at 600, and then we're going to go down to 0. That's 600, and then we have to go down 2 more, right? So that's going to put us at negative 200 feet, right? So it says select all options that apply to Desert Shores. The elevation of Desert Shores is negative 200 feet, and then where is it? Is it at sea level, or is it below sea level? I hope you guys said that with me. Below sea level, right? So the 2 answers that we should have selected is A and C. Muy bien, muy bien. All right, man, you guys know how to do this, man, because we drilled this so much in class. I will be sorely upset if you guys don't get this right. So what is the first thing that you have to do? I hope you guys said convert, because we would say that all the time in class. Oh, I miss you guys so much. All right, so 3 times 2 is 6, plus 1 is 7. So we have 7 halves times, and then 1 times 4 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 5 fourths, okay? We don't do any keep, change, flip, or we can't cross anything out. So what we have to do is just multiply straight across, and that's going to be 35 eighths. And then we say, well, how many times can 8 fit into 35? 8 fits in 35. 4. 35, take away 32 is 3. And then we're left with 8. So 4 and 3/8 is our final answer. And is that a response on here? And there it is, ladies and gentlemen. It is letter C. And we are officially done with this week. So thank you guys for, tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys, man. And we just going to keep it going. Next week, we're going to be talking about circles. and some 7th grade math, and then that's it. We're done. We're just gonna have fun at the last week of school, and remember that we need to see all of your, well, we probably won't see your faces, but at the assembly, right? The virtual assembly. It's gonna be dope. I'm telling you right now, it's gonna be dope. So anyway, man, just know that I miss you and I love you, and you guys are awesome, and keep working hard. And I will see you on Monday when we talk about circles. Peace.